Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on this fast forward planet, which I'm sad to report is still wrapped in a pandemic. There's incredible progress being made in developed countries, particularly. The United States finally is in high gear with vaccination. Um, Still huge gaps. This country is full of places that can't get routine healthcare, let alone get vaccinated. So there's tons of work to be done. My weekday shows here on the Earth Institute Sustain What broadcast, we dig in pretty deeply on that kind of issue. More to come this week during the week. But Sundays, as always, are about reflection and recharging the batteries, both giving the brain a break and giving your soul a break. I'm just looking at a little notice I got here. Periscope issue. Oh, we'll figure that out later. I'm really pleased to have a new guest here, Lindsey Clark from Northeastern Connecticut, who I saw on, I think it was Facebook. I saw the nickel harp, and I saw this pretty remarkable video of you. We'll show it in a couple of minutes of you playing three different instruments superimposed in a marvelous way. But I just wanted to say hi to you. First of all, welcome to the Sunday Sanity edition of Sustain What?
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So how, maybe give a quick background how you got into this kind of music as opposed to any other and why you're holding that instrument, and then play a little bit and then we'll talk about the history of the instrument.
Yeah, sure. So this is the nickel harpa, and I came to play it quite by accident, actually. So my main instrument is viola, and I've grown up playing both classical music and various different styles of fiddle and folk music as well. And I went to a fiddle camp, Ashokan Northern Week
Sure.
in New York, and they had a nickel harpa class there, and I said to myself, I will never pick up one of these because I'm never going to get one of these, and I won't have a chance to practice it. But as much as I said I wasn't going to do it and I wasn't going to commit, um, I was just sitting in like the cafeteria area by myself one day, and the nickel harpa teacher came up to me and put it in my hands and was just like, you should try to play this. So I joined the nickel harpa class there at Ashokan, I think 2 days late. And I just had a ton of fun with it. And any chance since then that I've gotten to get my hands on one, I've been enjoying learning more. I had borrowed a couple different instruments for a while before I eventually decided I was going to buy one.
I
And
could see why you'd want to test it out first before plunking down money for something so, it's so
yeah,
particular. It's just such a particular kind of an instrument. You
but
can't just pick it up and, yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's okay. I was wondering if you could just give a quick little dose of what it can do, and then we'll talk about the history of it and get
Yeah,
into some of those
sure.
stuff.
So, yeah, another reason why I'm really drawn to Scandinavian music is because I love the harmonies, and I love how it kind of, to me, it sounds almost Baroque sometimes. So, I picked a tune to play for you called Bach Polska, which is more recently composed by Elizabeth Foster, and it kind of brings out some of the connections between Scandinavian dance music and Baroque music.
Here's, by the way, Ray Pierre Humbert has just kind of popped in from over in Oxford, England, and Ray's a pretty fabled climate scientist, but also a really fine accordion player with deep roots in Swedish and Scandinavian music as well as the Celtic and stuff. So, Ray, how are you doing?
Oh, just fine. I decided when I saw we had a nickel harpa on, I decided to jump in. Yeah, jump in early. I just wish we could play together. Our Scandi, yes, our Scandi session in Oxford has 4 or 5 nickel harpa players
Oh my God,
in
I
it.
can't imagine the room of them.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. So yeah, I really miss playing together with those guys. So it should be starting up again in May. But
oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Lindsey, maybe give us okay, let's hear the Bach Polski.
Just gotta adjust and get comfortable
Sure.
here.
can you do me a tiny favor? The camera is cutting off a little bit of the finger where your fingers are. So just lower your camera. Yeah, I think that
Sure.
should
Yeah,
be
it's
perfect.
I know it's really cool to see the tangents work, so I'm happy
Okay,
to adjust
awesome.
there.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, that is just a stunning
Well,
instrument.
thank you.
Great playing, of course.
That's fantastic.
What
Thank you.
what you might explain to folks is that what sounds like a really sophisticated reverb setting on a microphone or something is in the instrument, right? It's got that
Yeah.
echoey quality. Have you dug in on the functionality of it at all yourself?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So, I am also a string music teacher, and one thing I'm always teaching my students to place their fingers in tune is to listen for sympathetic vibrations, such as like when you play a G, there's a G string that resonates, and you can tell if it's in tune if it has a beautiful ringing quality to it. Well, on this instrument, there are all these sympathetic strings. I don't know if you can see them running right in between the playing strings. I'll show up
Yeah,
close here. And they're
yeah.
actually they're situated below the playing strings on the bridge, so my bow will never hit them. But there's one tuned for every note of the chromatic scale. So
Wow.
that makes every single note that I could play have that same beautiful resonance that I'm always telling my students to listen for on certain key pitches. And it's like poor man's reverb. It sounds really cool.
I love that. Yeah, and it reminds me of the sitar. There's some Indian, South Asian instruments that have that quality too, and some Celtic ones. Cittern. There are a few instruments I can think of that have that quality. Although I don't know, Scandinavia seems to have more of it. Like if there's fiddles there, I can't remember the name for them.
Yeah,
That also
the
have hidden
Hardanger
strings.
fiddle from
Hardanger, yeah, right.
yeah.
Ray, so you said you've played with a room full of these, right?
Yeah.
You were Ray. You had an idea for I think a tune that on your accordion you thought might fit in
yeah,
this
yeah.
morning.
Yeah, so in fact, it's Bison's Polska, Bison Polska, and it's written by I picked it up. It's written by Olav Johansson, who's the nyckelharpa player for Vasen, the Swedish folk band. I noticed Lindsey had a lot of great Vasen covers on the website. Actually, the one you did, I guess it was triple track with all three of your instruments. Are you going to play that today on?
We'll play that video in a little bit. Yeah. Ray,
I love Bison Polska, by the way, too.
Oh yeah. Did I freeze up for a bit? Yeah,
just for a second. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering whether I was watching the piece that you had on YouTube where you played all three of your instruments. Was that all three of you on that?
Yeah, that was me playing nyckelharpa, viola, and cello, and you'll get to see that in a bit too.
Yeah, I'll show
great.
you.
Okay. Well, here's Bison's Pulse. I'm going to take off my headphones. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Play.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice, Ray.
Yeah. I mean, that would almost work as a call and response sort of thing, but I won't rock the boat.
Yeah, we did one of those a few weeks ago with two really marvelous guitarists who did sort of a back and forth trading. It's very hard to do harmonies, etc., of course, on these interfaces, but that really did work. That's beautiful. Well, maybe Lindsey, shall we play that tape? I'll do it right here.
Sure.
And what inspired you? Did you do the technology there, or how did you combine yourselves?
I did, yeah. So I have had just a couple snow days from work, and during these snow days, it became my obsession to make these multiple track like clone recordings. I love the band Vaesen, and I've learned a bunch of their tunes, including the viola harmonies, and I don't play the 12-string guitar like Roger Talroth does, but I play the cello, so I like adapted his part for the cello, And it's been my project to learn how to use various different sound programs and also Final Cut Pro. So the video you're going to see is like my teaching myself how to use Logic and
Wow.
Final Cut Pro while covering a Western tune I really love.
Okay. I'm super impressed. I should have used some of my downtime to do the same thing. Here we go. Wow. That is just so mesmerizingly wonderful.
Thank you.
And have you? I couldn't see on your YouTube channel. Have you done other superimpositions, or is that
Yeah, so I've done one other of another Western tune called IPA Gubin or IPA Gubin, the old IPA man. And that was my first attempt at doing it. So you can definitely see my progress between the two videos. But it's another great tune. And
fantastic?
I believe I linked it for you if you're interested in sharing it or.
Yes. Okay. Well, maybe in a little bit. I'm just looking here. You mean it's on? You emailed it to me, or
It's on the bottom of the page. It's on the sign up sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yes. Well, maybe we'll get to it. That. So Ray, does that bring to mind another accordion?
Oh, I guess yeah. Gee, another one. Actually, Ipo Gubin is from the Vason album Brood, and I actually for my birthday I got the whole Brood tune book. So I've been working my way through all of them. Some of them are beyond me, but so this is another one from written by Roger Tallroth, the guitarist on there, and it's called Tanya.
I like that little exhalation at the end there.
I love those Roger Tallroth pieces. Yeah. I don't know who it's written in, but it says it's written in honor of 15-year-old Tanya Jefferson living in Australia. It doesn't give any backstory of the song, but so it's a wonderful tune. He's written a lot of slow waltzish sort of things. That's from 6/4, so I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but there's another great one that I played on one of your shows, Josephine's Dupfalls, really beautiful one. He wrote for his daughter's christening.
Wow. So Lindsey, you also play the viola, which it's another one of these instruments that I play little fiddle badly. Yeah, mostly guitar and banjo, mandolin, but I've always loved that range of the viola. I guess it's compared to the human voice, is that right? But it's something about the viola that has that depth.
Yeah.
It just seems fairly magical too.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear you appreciate the viola. It definitely is. I feel like sometimes underappreciated. There's many viola jokes Yeah, but
Oh, we could
yeah,
we could swap viola and accordion jokes sometime.
oh,
There's lots of
Yeah.
accordion.
There are lots of accordion jokes.
Right.
yeah, I bet
Uh,
they're probably kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the slightly lower range, um,
yeah,
and I also love how violas are so like unique from one to the next viola
that's
because
interesting.
it's an acoustically imperfect instrument. There's all these different compromises made because you want it to sound big like a cello, but you got to fit it on your shoulder. So
Right.
it has like the low end tends to sound more earthy and growly sometimes than a cello.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I have that other piece of yours queued up, but I would love to, if you could play a little bit more live too, just maybe a short, whatever comes to mind right now. And if you've been thinking
sure.
about any other pieces.
On the nickel harper or on the viola?
Ah, nickel
I came
harpa right now.
prepared.
No, a little bit more on the nickel harpa because it's such a special
Yeah,
gift to have it here.
sure. Okay, so I'll play a tune by the great Eric Sahlstrom. This is called, excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, it's called Postormuren, which means on the big bog.
Interesting.
More slower, freer polska. Can you still hear me? I dropped my earbud.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry about that. I'll just keep going.
Just magical, magical.
Thank you.
The only thing I have that has some of that sonority is my banjo. I'm just gonna just riff a little bit here, just for no reason particularly.
That's really cool. I like it.
Well, banjo has some, has that because of the resonator. It's got that the top gives a little bit of that echoey sound. Beautiful stuff. Well, I do have your video queued up, but maybe Ray, I don't know if you have one more piece in mind.
Oh no, I'll just when in the next segment there's a rag, an American rag I was going to play, but I'll hold off until after Andre. So just go for it. Go for Lindsey's stuff by all means.
Well, let me pull up this other screen here. Okay, a second. Chrome tab, share audio. I have to talk my way through it, or I'll forget to click.
Oh, I do the same thing.
So here you are. Can you set up this tune? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is another one of my favorite Wesen tunes. It is called IPA Gubben, means the old IPA man. It was written.
This is an IPA like beer, right?
Yeah, it is IPA beer.
Oh, is it really?
In fact, I was gonna dedicate this to my dad, who I think is watching, who enjoys IPAs, and told me once that this piece sounds like an IPA, like it sounds like an IPA taste.
Oh, that's so funny.
And it was written, I believe, by Olaf Johansson for Mikael Marin, the viola player in Wesen, on his birthday.
Very cool. Well, here we go.
Oh, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I think you're muted.
Yeah, 1 second. So it's a silly question, really, but do you have a favorite instrument? Like if someone said you can only play one thing.
Oh.
I said it's a silly question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a proud violist. I wouldn't say that I love it more than all my other instruments, but like the viola has been my voice for so long. So that would be how I answer that.
Would it be too hard to swap there right now and give us a little bit of your viola love?
I mean, I can. I also, if there are others who are waiting to play.
No, it looks like we're having a pretty quiet morning here, so this is beautiful. I don't like to have it all crammed together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when I had initially seen on the sign-up sheet that my name was the only one there, I just figured I'd have a lot of stuff ready.
It's great.
Yeah, and let's see. I think I'm going to keep it simple for now with the viola.
Sure.
And since St. Patrick's Day is coming up this week, I'll play an Irish jig or two.
Good point.
Just check my tuning. Okay, a favorite Irish jig called the Rolling Waves. Oh, I think you're
I'm muted again. Here we go. I was saying it's beautiful, and I hadn't heard it before, and I even love the name, the Rolling Waves, because I'm kind of a sea person.
Oh, yeah.
In many ways, really cool tune. And actually, you've inspired me, Ray. If you don't mind, I'm going to fit in a 3-minute tune here. It's
oh, sure, good. Yep.
It's a song about a bar that used to sit on the waterfront here in Phillipstown and Garrison, where I used to live on the Hudson River, right across from West Point, called Guinans. It was the Guinan family who had opened this bar back in the 1950s. And on the third, it was, the first Thursday after the full moon, they always had a great ceilidh, and used to go down there all the time, despite my non-Irish heritage. And the place is no longer a bar. It's now a restaurant run by a good friend, but it's lost that whole. It's a place of the mind. It's a place of the imagination now and memory. And here's a little song called "Between the River and the Rails." Hold on one second. when I'm feeling so low that roadkill looks lucky. This happens more times than you might like to hear. There's one destination that makes me feel better, down where the tide flows by just like the beer. Between the river and the rails, in a room behind the store, fireplace roaring, Guinness pouring. How could you ask for anything more? Well, cops and stockbrokers and writers and loafers all flock when that green neon shamrock does glow. So drop all your worries, slow down, there's no hurry. Come on to Guinan's, some peace you will know. Between the river and the rails, in a room behind the store, fireplace roaring, Guinness pouring. How could you ask for anything more? On the first Thursday, just past the full moon, musicians they gather from far and away, settling in for a long night of tunes. Wild Rover and Danny Boy, oh how they play. Between the river and the rails, in a room behind the store, fireplace roaring, Guinness pouring. How could you ask for anything more? One more round. Between the river and the rails, in a room behind the store, fireplace roaring, Guinness pouring. How could you ask for anything more? Well, how could you ask for anything more? It goes out to the Guinan family. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you. And by the way, Ray played the accordion on my recording of that tune.
Oh, that was fun. It was fun. Yeah, I was playing along while you were singing. It was fun to hear that again.
Yeah, it was fun to put that together. At the end of the show today, you inspired me to play the video of the tune that was on the album.
Oh yeah, so anyway. yeah. And we, that stuff at Guinan's that before the lockdown that existed in like 20 pubs around Oxford. And so part of the restarting, we had all these agreements with pubs, which nights we would get and stuff like that. And the pubs are just barely staying in there in business. And so getting the whole music scene restarted is going to be a big deal, especially the pubs have a lot of catch up to do in terms of making money. But
sure.
We'll do it. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we have our Town Crier Cafe in Beacon that has been struggling terribly. So many clubs. But it's happening. One of our good musician friends will be on later this morning. Rick Nestler got his second Pfizer shot yesterday, he said. So slowly but surely going to come around here. It's a tough slog. Lindsey, it's been just great to have you come on the show. I should do a session sometime in the next few weeks with you, with Tom Chapin playing auto harp. which is another spectacularly resonant instrument, and with our friend Karen Alley, who's a climate scientist out. She's now in Alberta, who plays the hammered dulcimer. We could just have a strings only session of this show, which would be really fun. If you have another, maybe a last tune you'd like to offer up, that'd be great, Lindsey.
Oh, okay, sure. So
pick your instrument.
Yeah, here. Okay, so I'll pull out another instrument for you. And the other instrument is going to be my loop pedal. This is what I've been using while teaching online to create a semblance of jam playing and ensemble playing with my students. And I'm just going to play a tune that I taught to them called Dancing Bear, Bob McQuillan contradance tune. And I'm going to play along with myself on the loop pedal.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
This is another first for the show.
Well, we'll see how it goes, because normally when I do this in class, I will have made the loop right before. Oh. And I made the loop like an hour ago. So we'll see if I remember the tempo and just hope for the best.
Great.
Oh, and if you see the top of my head, it's because I'm adjusting the volume with my loop as I go along.
Sure. Ow. Oh boy. That's so cool.
Sweet.
High tech and low tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show this morning. It's been fun.
And you can hang out, by the way. There's no, unless, you have things to do, and we always have things to do. There's more people coming on. I see Donna Nestler coming into the green room, having a cup of the coffee, and looking at the bagels and stuff I laid out. And the community here is really great fun to be part of. So don't feel like you have to rush off if you don't have to rush off.
Yeah, I'm happy to stick around and listen for sure.
Very cool. There's
Great,
some great comments coming in from all around. Someone named Annie, who I think seems to know you.
Annie's my sister. She's so nice.
Oh, good.
She's a sweetheart.
And Joanne McGarry from out in Humboldt County, California, has just signed on. I first heard lute pedal. Oh, she thought you were saying lute pedal.
Oh, I wish I had a lute pedal. That would be so cool to make my viola sound like a lute.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. I don't know if such a thing exists.
She says, "Love this on a cool gray day here in the Redwood Country. Thanks for another great show. Music is so necessary." I couldn't agree more, Joanne. She's introduced us to a couple of people who've been on the show, which that's part of the upside of social media is you can find people you never thought you'd meet. It's great that way. And so Lindsey Clark, I assume it's not hard for people to find you by searching for your name and nickel harpa or viola on the web.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Do search my name plus an instrument, because there's a guitar composer whose last name is Lindsey Clark.
I was Googling and found that. It's so funny.
Yeah, so if you type in Lindsey Clark viola or Lindsey Clark nickel harpa, you'll find me. If you type in Lindsey Clark, you'll find some beautiful guitar music. Yeah. And
by the way, what's the etymology? What's the nickel part of nickel harpa?
It means keyed. So it refers to those keys that you play with your fingers instead of pressing down on the strings.
Sure. Okay. That instrument is stunning to me. What a great gift that was this morning. So thanks again.
Thanks.
Rick and Donna, we just nod your head if you're ready to come on and say hi. No, she's going, no. Okay. I see her in the green room. They'll be on in a few minutes. So Ray, what else is on your musical mind or on your climatic mind? What's going on in climate science right now that is driving you crazy or exciting?
Well, I can tell what's driving. I mean, what's exciting is the exoplanet stuff. There's a really hot planet that shouldn't have an atmosphere, and there's some indications it actually does. And so we're going nuts trying to figure out how this thing could regenerate an atmosphere. But what's actually driving me crazy, and I won't ruin anybody. I hope not to ruin anybody's Sunday with this, but I've been strongly opposed to geoengineering, right. But the Harvard group, which has been pushing this hard, has this scheme to actually do some of their experiments in northern Sweden, hoping that nobody would notice when they're out there in the middle of the tundra. And so we caught wind of it, and there's a whole bunch, including Greta Thunberg and so forth, that's kind of mobilizing to try to get the private company that's setting this up to back off of it. But it's a kind of it's not my favorite part of my week. But so this is
we should have a session, one of our midweek sessions. I haven't done one on geoengineering yet. I do think it's a very important subject, and
it would be good. Yeah.
Where it fits in the mix, this whole array of options is a question. There's so many questions, but we'll leave those for a weekday. I'd love to.
That's right. Yes, right. Yeah. So, but I guess I might as well. I think I really, when Barbara and Nadine Discount were on. It just reminded me of all that wonderful folk music scene in Ithaca when my daughter was at Cornell. I used to drop in at the contra dances and that fantastic radio show Bound for Glory.
I've been on that show.
Oh, great. Yeah. And I went Christmas caroling with some of those people. But they put the Ithaca folk music crowd put together this great tune book, YFN, Your Friends and Neighbors, which you hear lots of stuff in it at contra dances around there, but also front porch music festivals and things like that. And so I got I got nostalgic about that when thinking about all you upstate New York people. And so I was playing around through some of these YFN tunes again, and I found some rags that I remembered I really liked. So there's one of them. I've got the whistle to go with it, but the pig angle.
Just before you play, I just want to say good morning to Rick and Donna Nestler out in the Catskills. Donna, who's healing up from a skiing injury. I hope you're feeling okay.
Hey, I got to bend my knee 45 degrees.
Oh my God, there you
Okay.
go.
No
Slowly
wait
but
yet.
surely. And I do
But
like
we're
your
ready.
head.
We're ready for St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, your headgear is
Yeah.
very exciting. So Ray, go for it.
Okay, yeah, pig ankle rag. Actually, we used to have hog
ankle
roast.
rag.
We used to have hog roasts at University of Chicago, and with enough side dishes for the vegans. This was our theme song for our hog roasts also. So.
Unbelievable, Ray. Holy moly.
I just need my straw hat.
Ay.
Yeah.
So Lindsey, that's another form of playing simultaneously with yourself with the whistle and accordion. That's a new one for me. I had heard.
Yeah,
like
well, with rags, you're really supposed to have one of those siren whistles, but I didn't have one handy. But
So I have to ask Rick and Donna. I know that probably brings to mind 1,000 different tunes because I know your repertoire. But what are you thinking of musically right now?
What we practiced.
Oh darn! Okay. What did you practice?
Well, we're in for the Irish. You mentioned Irish.
Yep.
And so.
Oh, and here's David DeMello. I'm listening in from Ithaca, New York. So there's a live Ithaca, New York comment. I'm a beginner for about 1.5 years now, and I've learned both Rolling Waves and Dancing Bear from Tim Ball. So it was especially fun to hear Lindsey play those. That's really cool. David DeMello, come on with you.
It's too late. Quit now before it's too late.
Now.
What instruments or instrument was he?
Let's see. Doesn't say. My guess is fiddle, well, we know if Tim Ball. He mentioned Tim Ball, so maybe we know. I don't know. We'll find out. David DeMello, post a comment saying what instrument you're learning on.
Because I have a new one, but I'm not up to playing it yet. Okay.
Well, then give us a tune in the Irish mode.
Okay, can you see? Those of you who want to play along. A gypsy rover came over the hill, down through the valley so shady. He whistled and he sang till the greenwood and he won the heart of a lady. Adi-doo, adi-doo-da-day, adi-doo, adi-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. She left her father's castle gates, left her own fine lover, left her servants and her estate to follow the gypsy rover. Adi-doo, adi-doo-da-day, adi-doo, adi-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. He saddled up his fastest steed, rode the valleys all over, sought his daughter with great speed, and the whistling gypsy rover. Adi-doo, adi-doo-da-day, adi-doo, adi-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. Go ahead, Rick. At last he came to a castle fine, down by the river Clady. There was music and there was wine for the gypsy and his lady. Adi-doo, adi-doo-da-day, adi-doo, adi-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang. He won the heart of a lady. He is no gypsy, my father, she said, but lord of these lands all over. And I shall stay till my dying day with my whistling gypsy rover. Adi-doo, adi-doo-da-day, adi-doo, adi-day. He whistled and he sang till the green woods rang, and he won the heart of a lady.
Beautiful.
Beautiful
way to start the day. Is the snow all melted yet in the Catskills, or you still have some?
Oh, we still got a little bit in our yard here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got about 6 inches of snow up here.
Pretty much gone now here down by the river in Cold Spring. Although up in
Yep.
Garrison, up in the high part of Garrison, there's still some snow.
Mhm.
We have some other folks who have shown up here. Debbie and Andy.
Hey there. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you.
Hey.
And Lindsey Clark has to head out into the rest of her day. Lindsey, it was fantastic having you here this morning in all the multiple iterations and multiple versions and great instruments. Incredibly fun having nickel harpa added to the list of instrumental variety here, along with the auto harp. Donna has played a metal tie that's like a Zydeco tie.
Yeah.
We have lots of stuff here, but that was the first. So more nickel harp.
Lindsey, if you can at some point message me where you can find a nickel harp. My brother's looking for one.
Okay. I will put a note in the chat before I sign off. It's been great to be here. See y'all
Great.
later.
Take care.
Wonderful.
Great to meet you. Well, that was really cool. I don't know who was on earlier, but I'm a big fan of those instruments with all that extra sonority, that those layers and echoes and stuff. That was really awesome. So Andy and Debbie, are you in Croton, or you were there a long time? Is that where you are right now?
We're here right now.
Right this very moment, we are in
Not
Croton.
too far. Well, we all have Croton roots. We all go to the Clearwater Festival. We've all played there many times. Our good friends David Burns and May Jacobs pretty much grew up in Croton, and
Well,
lots of deep
we think
memories.
they might have lived in the house next door to where we live on Quaker Bridge Road.
Up on the hill.
Well,
Well, they lived on. I mean, he grew up on Commie Hill, whatever they used to call it.
yeah, right, Red Hill, yeah.
Red Hill.
We live across
I
from
think
the
it's Mount Airy.
Croton River by Black Rock Park, but Mount Airy. That's where they live.
Yeah, great.
I'm an Austin girl.
Oh, hey,
great.
nice. Great to meet you all. So, well, you mentioned the Clearwater. I have a little story I could tell quickly, and since it's a song and story swap. So anyway, about 15 years ago, it was a Friday afternoon, July. It was like 95 degrees, and I was at that time commuting from Croton into Manhattan. So I get on the Metro North Grand Central, and they don't bother turning on the air conditioning until you're actually rolling, moving on the train. So
Right.
I was sitting there waiting for us to leave. It's really hot. I start kind of dozing off. I'm in the second seat by the window, and there's like one or two people. And I usually take note of anybody who walks on the train carrying an instrument. I just sort of make a mental note of this. So this guy comes on, and he sits right in front of me in the double seats that by the door that are facing each other, right? So he's got the whole thing to himself. And I'm kind of half dozing, half kind of, reading the paper. And I look up and I said, oh, this guy looks familiar. And then it dawns on me, it's actually Pete Seeger. So he comes and he sits down right in front of me, like a few inches away. And I'm in my seat, like trying just to read the paper and be cool, but very conscious of the fact that that's him. So I'm thinking, well, maybe he'll actually play his guitar. He's got obviously a guitar. And so he takes out his thermos and he starts having lunch there and having a whole nice spread and everything. And I'm thinking, well, I guess maybe I won't get to hear him play. But then about halfway up the river, we're past Yonkers and everything, he puts the thermos away. And by that time, it's just the two of us on the train. Everybody left. So he takes the guitar out, right? And I'm thinking, well, I better remember all the words that if I had a hammer, because if he calls for a sing-along, I better know the words, right? So next thing I know, here's Pete. He's going like this. He's going, well, the shark has pretty teeth, dear, right? And I'm thinking like, now Pete has morphed into Bobby Darin. Like, that's really strange. So then I think to myself, well, that's not so strange because Bobby Darin actually had a folk component to his nightclub act at one time, which you may know. And his accompanist was Roger McGuinn. It was before the
Wow.
that. Yeah, he called himself Jim McGuinn back then. And of course, McGuinn and Seeger had a connection and all that. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it's not so weird. Like Pete can play anything. He's a great musician. So finally, it's getting to be time to get off the train. And I think, well, I better say something. This is my one chance to say something to Pete. So I walk by him and I said, oh, thanks, man. That was a great tune. Really enjoyed it. And then I said, I've always been a fan. I have that blue book with all the great songs, and I cannot remember the name of the book. So he goes, yeah, American folk songs. Yeah, that was the book. And then I had to go. And so I get off the train and I'm thinking, wow, that was like a crazy encounter with Pete. So then 2 weeks later, I'm driving across the Beacon-Hudson Bridge and I'm going to buy a guitar over in Newburgh. And I'm driving by and it's raining. And there's this guy out there with a sign that says, no war for oil. And I realize it's Pete Seeger. It's out in the middle of the bridge. And I'm opening my window, shouting like, hey, Pete, it's me, like the guy from the train. But of course he couldn't hear me. And then I just passed him and that was it. So I never really got to say much more than thanks, but I did get to say thanks for all the great music.
That's
And
really cool.
Now I have a song that I wrote about our train, which I call the Croton Cannonball. And, with Wabash Cannonball, all those great Cannonball songs. So we're going to do it.
Great. I just want to say a quick hello to Joseph Pupe from Lusaka, Zambia, who has popped on this morning, this afternoon, his time. Hey, Joseph, how are you doing? See, we always have some internet challenges, but I do have a song of his to play. Hey, man, great to see you again. So let's hear this tune from Andy Karp. And sorry.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Every weekday morning, I put on my tie and suit, drive down to the station to begin my long commute. Standing on the platform, my briefcase in my hand, just an ordinary commuter, a 9-to-5 man. Board the train, find your seat, settle down, tap your feet to the rhythm of the rails you're riding on. I ride the Croton Cannonball, rolling down the Hudson River line. Yeah, the Croton Cannonball, just a passenger train with a load to haul, not highfalutin or elite. You get packed in 3 to a seat, but you hardly ever stall on the Croton Cannonball. From Ossining to Greystone, the view is mighty fine. Arriving at Grand Central, that's the end of the line. I work hard at the office, 8 long hours a day, till it's time to punch the clock and be on my way. Board the train, find your seat, settle down, tap your feet to the rhythm of the rails you're riding on. I ride the Croton Cannonball, rolling down the Hudson River line. Yeah, the Croton Cannonball, just a passenger train with a load to haul, not highfalutin or elite. You get packed in 3 to a seat, but you hardly ever stall on the Croton Cannonball. Well, about spite and dival, I feel a revival. My spirit starts to soar. Then long about Yonkers, I go bonkers when I see those Hudson shores. I ride the Croton Cannonball, rolling down the Hudson River line. Yeah, the Croton Cannonball, just a passenger train with a load to haul, not highfalutin or elite. You get packed in 3 to a seat, but you hardly ever stall on the Croton Cannonball. That's all, that's all, that's all. That's all, that's all, that's all. That's all, that's all, that's all. That's all.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
We got to get you on here with David Burns and his son Jacob. David wrote a really cool song about Metro North up and down the line. We could get someone to do the Empire State Blues, which I used to do with my band Uncle Wade. That's just beautiful. Nice vibe to it.
Thanks.
Hey, Donna, your hand is up. Yes, Donna.
Does anybody know what a Croton highball is?
No, absolutely
No.
not. What? Tell us.
It's a glass of water.
From the reservoir, probably.
That's what my dad would say. Would you like a Croton highball?
Croton
And bring me a glass of
highball.
water.
Oh,
Add a toothpick and it's a pine float.
Uh-huh.
So actually, Rick and Donna, does that bring in? Let's see. I know some tunes of yours that are like that have that same kind of vibe. What comes to mind for you musically?
Wait, you
right
want
now?
another train song?
Well, yeah, that could work.
We love trains.
I get about the same train line.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sounds like the same key too. Oh no, maybe not.
G.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've actually lived on all 3 of the commuter lines going into New York City from New York State. I was raised on the New Haven division, spent some of my earlier time on the Harlem division, and then eventually most of my adult life on the Hudson division.
Great.
I'm
Northbound on that long, lonesome train, good Lord.
Yeah, I'm
Northbound on that long, lonesome train. Can't say why I have to go.
I can
Only say that I'm missing so. I'm northbound on that long, lonesome train.
Now leaving here is something, honey, that I've got to do. You know that leaving here is what I've got to do. Don't expect you to understand, just please believe I'm gonna be your man. Northbound on that long, lonesome train.
I'm northbound on that long, lonesome train, good Lord. Northbound on that long, lonesome train. Can't say why I have to go. I only say that I wish you so. Northbound on that long, lonesome train.
Well, wish I could tell you, honey, why I've got to go. Wish I could tell you why I've got to go. But it seems I've got no choice. Every time I speak, I ain't got no voice. Northbound on that long, lonesome train.
Northbound on that long, lonesome train, good Lord. Northbound on that long, lonesome train. Can't say why I have to go. Only say that I miss you so. Northbound on that long, lonesome train.
Last time I'm
Northbound on that long, lonesome train, good Lord. Northbound on that long, lonesome train. Can't say why I have to go. Only say that I wish you so. I'm northbound on that long, lonesome, on that long, lonesome, on that long, lonesome train.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
That's great. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I have to go now, but I'll be
Ray.
listening in while I'm cooking. So see you.
Great to have
Okay,
you.
great being with you. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah.
See you again. Well, you brought to mind a couple of things. Pete Seeger, I'm going to show a video I shot right around this time of year. I'll do it in a little while, not right now, of him at the the Sap to Syrup Festival at Little Stony Point. And I did see, because Joseph Poupe was on a little while ago, but he has such a bad signal. I'm going to play a clip of a tune of his, if you don't mind, that has some people from our local ensemble joined forces musically with Joseph. So hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Here we shall. Yeah, here we go. This is also in honor of Pete because it's a song that he sang all the time. Let's see if this will work. They have a new. Here we go. Tell me if you can hear it.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall
Great having Joseph here.
Yeah.
Someday the digital divide will be less of a factor, both within this country and around the world, so that information and insights can flow and communities can build in ways that are still not very easy to accomplish right now. And it's great to have you all here. It's great to have newcomers, Debbie Cohen and Andy Karp, here. So all lit up is what you call yourselves when you're together as an ensemble. Is that right?
That and also when it's late at night and we've had some wine.
Well, that's our
Double
duo.
meaning.
Yeah, and then we have we play with a rhythm section and other instruments, and we call that Andy and the Igniters. But we do both, and
Cool.
we've also participated in a project, a big fundraising project for people who can't afford eyeglasses, working with a group called New Eyes for the Needy, and that's a project called iRock, and we're involved in that. It's a rock thing, but so
That's
we have some fun.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that one focused U.S. or internationally?
That
The
is an
eyeglass thing.
international group, New Eyes. They're in, I think, 19 countries. They're well established, 70 some odd years, and they're good folks. That's my day job. I'm in the eyewear and eye care business.
Okay. Well, good
As a
for you.
writer.
As a journalist. Yeah.
Great. That I'd love to learn more about that that effort. What else is on your musical minds and hearts this morning?
Well,
Well, we have a tune, a well-known tune that we can do for you. It's called "Ashes of Love," and we'll lay it on you.
Cool.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the dead, and I'll pay the price. Our love is done, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out.
Your love like a gleam in your eye had gone out to my surprise. You said goodbye and my heart bled. I can't revive a love that's dead.
Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the dead, but I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. I trusted you, our love would stand. Your every wish was my command. My heart told me I must forget. I loved you then, I'll love you yet. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the dead, and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. Ashes of love, the flame burned out.
Very nice.
Thank you all.
Kitty Wells, I think originally, right? Is that Kitty Wells?
Yeah, her husband was Johnny Anglin, I think, or Jack Anglin.
yeah,
Johnny and
yeah.
Jack. And yes, I'm sure Kitty Wells, right?
That's really cool. I haven't heard that song in a long time. Beautiful. Nice
Well,
rendition.
Thank you much.
So I assume you've been playing together a long time.
Actually, how we met, I was bopping along with what was clearly an electric guitar at the time, and
On Broadway in
on
Manhattan.
Broadway near Columbia. We both went to Columbia, and I was walking along, and then this crazy guy came up and started talking to me, and he was like, I was going home, and he was like, like coming along.
You're coming from a guitar lesson.
And I didn't really, I wasn't 100% sure on that. So I ducked into the symposium which is used to be the Greek restaurant right near Columbia. And, we chatted a bit, and then he asked me for my phone number, and I said, why don't you give me your phone number? And then he said, well, my phone is broken.
No, I just moved in. I
yeah, that's right.
The phone company hadn't connected it yet. So
anyway, I gave him my number, and now we're married.
Well, we're coming up on our 40th anniversary. So
That's really
it
cool.
worked out.
Yeah.
And
So that was the early embers of love, not the ashes of love.
Yeah, we haven't gotten
We
that
haven't
far
gotten
yet.
to the end.
No, that's good.
Hopefully.
Rick and Donna, have I ever asked you how you met? I'm not sure if I know this. Not that that needs to be a public statement, but
Oh no, it's a good story. Go ahead, Rick. I'll start. A mutual friend had a friend who wanted his boat taken from Mamaroneck down to the Chesapeake, and we asked to be crew separately. It was amazing how many different people we knew in common, but we had never met. And now you can take it.
So the crew gathered in Mamaroneck to get the boat ready. Donna was still working as a teacher. So the idea was she couldn't make it down to Mamaroneck by the time we were going to leave, but she could make it to City Island. So we picked her up down at City Island. We pulled into the dock, sitting out at the head of the dock, and I see Donna walking down wearing one of those plaid skirts with the big horse pin and Weegens and knee socks, and then realized that I was the only guy on the boat that didn't have gray hair. And I thought to myself, aha, I stand a chance with this one. And then we both ended up on opposite watches. We didn't see each other until we got down to the Chesapeake almost. We got down to the canal, and that was the first time we were all awake at the same time.
And he comes walking back down the dock because he'd gotten off because we were getting fuel. And he comes back walking down the dock eating a chipwich and went, where's mine? And that was the first thing he ever bought me, a chipwich.
Oh, well, there we go.
And then we split.
Here we are.
We split for years. We'd run into each other at ferry sloops events and stuff, but it was a boat story. And this is our courting song.
All right. Perfect.
Key of C?
Yep.
Go, key. Yeah, C.
Why don't you kick it off?
We practice.
Fare thee well, my own true love, leaving the first hour of the morn, bound off for the Bay of Mexico, maybe the coast of California. So it's fare thee well, my own true love, when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of you, I have signed aboard a Yankee clipper ship. The Davy Crockett is her name. Burgess is a captain of her, and I hear she's a floating shame. So it's fare thee well, my own true love, when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. United we will be. I've sailed with Burgess once before, and I think that I know the man well. If a man is a sailor, he will get along. If he's not, then he's sure in hell. So it's fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united, we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. So fare thee well to Lower Frederick Street and St. Terrace and Park Lane, for I know it will be a long, long time before I do see you again. So it's fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united, we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now the moon is upon the harbor, love, and I do wish that I could remain, for I know it will be a long time, love, before I do see you again. And so it's fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united, we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Yes, my darling, when I think of thee.
Bravo.
Lovely.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, that was a beautiful. This is a beautiful way to end a Sunday morning. With the clocks changed, it's now afternoon time, and looks like spring is actually kind of coming. It looks like the vaccine is kicking in a big way.
We're having snow flurries now.
Oh, you are. Yeah, well, it's coming. We could still have another big storm, like they're having out in Colorado right now. My friends in Boulder are being buried. Great to have Andy Karp and Debbie Cohen join our little circle here, and I hope you'll come back sometime. It's basically every Sunday, unless I have some urgent matter that I can't avoid. And it's good to have a dose of Croton.
Nice to meet you all. And
Rick and Donna. Sorry.
No, nice to meet you all.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Rick and Donna, have a good St. Patty's Day. I know you normally would have a party with a big corned beef and brisket and all kinds of stuff, but
Yeah, we used to go through over 40 pounds of corned beef.
Unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
Well, those musicians, starving musicians, would show up at our door.
Imagine that. Imagine that. So just to close things out, I am going to give us a little dose of Pete Seeger, who we all miss.
Yes.
Who we used to play with regularly for 20 years. Me for 20 years, you guys for 30. And here's a video I recorded at Little Stony Point, which is about a mile from where I'm sitting right now. Maybe we'll go down there with the dogs later at the annual Sap to Syrup Festival. And so thanks again to all the guests this morning, especially our Lindsey Clark kicking us off with the astounding nyckelharpa Swedish instrument. But here's Pete Seeger and a little dose of Sap to Syrup. And there will be a face-to-face festival like this probably, I assume, next year, but not this year.
Thank you, Andy. Say hi to Lisa.
I will. Here we go.
First, you get the buckets ready, clean the pans and gather firewood. Late in the winter, it's maple syrup time. You need warm and sunny days, but still the cold and freezing nighttime. For just a few weeks, maple syrup time. We boil and boil and boil and boil it all day long, till 97% of water evaporates, just like this song. What is left is syrupy. Don't leave it too long. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time. I'll play. I know it's not the quickest system, but each year I can't resist it. Get out the buckets and tap the trees in time. Making it is half the fun, satisfaction when it's done. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time. My grandpa said perhaps it's just a waste of time. But no more than this attempt to make a happy little rhyme. So swing your tail or pat your feet, but keep in good time. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time. I'll send this song around the world with love to every boy and girl, hoping they don't mind a little advice in rhyme. As in life or evolution, rarely is there a quick solution. Anything worthwhile takes a little time. We boil and boil and boil and boil it all lifelong, till what is left is syrupy. Don't leave it on the flame too long, but seize the minute, build a new world, sing an old song. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time. Sing that line with me. Keep up the fire. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time. Oh, sing it again, everybody. Keep up the fire, maple syrup time.
Keep up the fire, maple syrup time.
Great.
God, we miss that guy.
Yeah.
But his circle of song lives on, including right here today. So thank you all for being here today, and
Thank you
stay
for having
safe. Get vaccinated if you're not already there, and try to build a better world every day.
That's it.
Great.
All right.
Take care. Have a
Take
good
care.
day.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.